Hi, I'm Sophie.
Hi, I'm Paul, and we are
SP Film Viewers.
It's coming up to the end of the month.
Yay! Finally
Of
getting
Monster
there.
March.
No,
Of Monster March.
the last one ever. No, not like I'm dead excited.
Don't sound too
They have
disappointed,
been
do
a
you?
bit of a shambles so far.
Well,
We've
I
had
mean,
one little gem.
but you win some, you lose some in terms of films we watch.
Mm.
I mean, we've tried to cover a variety of different creature features in a way.
I just think for me, I just don't really love monster films. I know you've got a love for monsters and dinosaurs and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think they're just the same paced kind of throughout. It's a bit like an action film.
Well, for this one that I picked for what neither of us have seen, I've kind of gone a bit easy on you and found a family-friendly one.
Oh, so is it animated?
No, not as such. It's just one of those. I don't know how ropey the CGI will be on it, but I'm hoping it's got some sort of charm to it.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
I've seen it in when I was flicking through one of my books, Monsters in the Movies, and it was talking sea monsters. I know we had Anaconda, which is kind of like a water monster in a sense, but it wasn't really.
No, it could live on both. I wouldn't say it was a water.
Exclusively lives in that habitat.
No.
But this one came up and I'm thinking, oh, the picture kind of looked intriguing, and I think I kind of heard the name before, but I've never seen it for whatever reason. The film is called The Water Horse, Legend of the Deep.
Is it a seahorse?
No, it says it's to do with the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, okay. Is it based in Scotland?
Yeah, the synopsis seems to
Is it
allude
British?
to that. Yes, I'm guessing it must be.
Yeah.
If it's in Scotland.
No, I'm just wondering. I don't know if it was.
Well, yeah, it's got to be if it's the Loch Ness Monster. It's not any other lochs.
No, I know that. I mean, is it a British film though? Have we created it, or has somebody else decided to create it?
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Like a British director, or
Let me find out.
like Love Actually is a British film.
No, he's a American film director. This
Aye.
guy Jay Russell. I don't think I've heard of him before. Nothing coming up really. I can see that I really know. So,
Is there anyone in it I know?
um,
You're gonna say no to me.
there's people I know, but I wouldn't think that if I said them, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know that is." So,
Do I know any of them in anything else, or no? Not one bit.
If I say names, you're probably like, I bet best for you to just go see him and be like, oh, I've seen him or her in that as you normally do. But the film synopsis that I'll read to you says, young Angus McMorrow discovers a mysterious egg that grows up to be the Loch Ness Monster. As they form a strong relationship, the boy's family refuses to believe in the creature's existence.
How when it's
Yeah, that must imply that isn't it like an imaginary friend or something?
Oh, right.
By that description, because how else could you can clearly see this?
The egg, and you've hatched it, and something came out of it. All right, sounds nice. I'm looking forward to this. I don't feel like he's going to be a bad monster. I'm going to be going out and harming people and killing them.
The category is family fantasy, so I highly doubt, and it's PG. So
is this like Shamu or like Free Willy or something? Is it a bit like that?
It sounds like it's going to be that kind of sort of film.
Is Shamu even a film, or is that Free Willy?
No, Free Willy is a film.
Shamu is
is it SeaWorld?
Yeah, I don't even know if Shamu is now even there or not. I've got a teddy of him.
Probably not.
What's the dolphin one?
Flipper the dolphin, and then it's Echo the dog is the video game.
What do you do with that?
Well, you're a dolphin and you've got to find stuff. I think it's like one of those side-scrolly games.
Oh, it sounds nice. I used to love dolphins, but back in the 90s, that was always the craze, wasn't it? I wanted that dolphin tattoo. I'm so glad I didn't do it.
What, an actual tattoo?
I wanted an actual tattoo of a dolphin on my ankle.
I don't think you've told me that.
The jumpy one.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, the cliche tattoo that everyone wanted in the 90s.
I thought everyone wanted butterfly tattoos when that was their first tattoo, or the stars.
No, I wanted a dolphin.
Okay. Before we get into watching the film, do you believe there is a Loch Ness Monster? In actual fact, I mean, not like in a fantasy world, or...
Yeah.
Or do you think, there's no way that thing exists?
No, of course it exists.
How can you be sure?
Well, why would someone make it up? Clearly somebody's seen something.
We've seen something, yes.
But it might not be exactly like how they're showing it or advertising it nowadays. But I do think there'll probably be a Loch Ness Monster in...
Obviously, in my younger years, and think, wow, it'd be amazing if there was something like a plesiosaur or dinosaur that lives in the thing. But then, the more I thought about it as I got older, it's like I know these like documentaries about we're trying to find it, or whatever, and it's like yes, the loch is very deep, but then it's a loch. It's not got anywhere to swim, so it's only I say small, a big, smallish surface area to cover.
Yeah.
But obviously, if it went out to sea, then yes, there'd be there's no more than likely a possibility that there could be potentially something there, because obviously it's got the means to go out and to go wherever, but it's kind of enclosed in that essentially. So I don't know, and I think it would probably be long gone now, even if there was something.
I do think there was something. Just like we had dinosaurs, that did.
Yeah,
exist.
No, I don't doubt that for a moment, but not into whenever the rumour started about it.
Like the scale of it, I don't know if that's probably true, or however they've drawn it out or planned it out. Probably doesn't look the same as what they think.
Pretty odd feathers.
It probably did, yeah. Exactly, but I do think it probably does. Somebody has seen something, because that's how every story goes.
Well, yeah, this is how monsters sort of came to be, mostly. It's all what the locals or tribesmen thought, the thunderclouds were gods fighting or something like that.
I think that's quite cute.
Something like that, because they couldn't, things that they couldn't explain.
Yeah.
Like earthquakes and stuff, it must be a monster that's got, something unknown.
Erupting, monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, the way that people's minds work, isn't it?
Yep. So, hopefully this will be enjoyable. Even I hope it's not too cheesy. But
I hope not either. Now you said that. I was looking forward to it until you said that.
I don't think, the scoring seem average-ish, but I guess like a British, have a charm to it. So let's hope, eh?
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah. Okay, so we will be back shortly.
I wonder. Oh, it just can't be.
Can't be what?
Well, it looks like a bloody water horse.
A what?
They're make-believe. A legend from the Celtic past. They're said to be the rarest of all creatures. There can be only one water horse in the world at a time. When the one grows old, it lays a single egg and then it dies.
And we're back from watching The Water Horse, or How to Train Your Loch Ness Monster.
I like that. Because I, all the way through this, wrote Nessie instead of Crucial or whatever the name was.
Yeah, the monster, the Loch Ness Monster in this, was coined with the name Crusoe, because the little boy discovers it, looks on a shelf and sees The Adventures of Robinson Crusoe book on the shelf, and goes, "Oh no, I'll name you Crusoe," because he's trapped on an island.
Do you know, none of that made any sense to me. I didn't even know that's why he called him it. I didn't even see the book. So wasted on me, isn't it?
Okay.
So I just wrote all the way through my notes Nessie, because it was easier to spell.
Yeah, do you even know how to spell?
No, I don't. That's why I didn't write it.
Okay.
Begins with a K.
Nope.
You're joking. C.
Crusoe.
No. I would not spell that right. Can't we just call it Lapras? Because I did say to you, isn't that just what Lapras would be?
Yeah, to an extent, yeah. It is kind of looks like that in its design. And its sort of mannerisms, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
Or I imagine it would be.
Well, it's not like what I thought Nessie looked like. Is she a water horse? I thought she was more like...
If she exists.
She clearly exists.
Well, this is what... Yeah, that's what the kind of implication behind of the design of what the Loch Ness Monster looked like a prehistoric, what plesiosaur, which has got the long neck and the flippers and the tail.
I guess I've never seen anything like that. So like with the Nessie Loch Ness Monster photos, it's always like a long neck, but you don't really get to see the body. So I've never really known what's underneath the water, I guess.
Well, may as well start with the creature, because I think we normally dance around all the other stuff beforehand with the story and everything. But the CGI of the design, how did you find that to be? Did you think it was realistic enough?
I think it was when it was smaller. It kind of had this weird stage where when it was small, it seemed somewhat realistic. And then when it was like growing at a rapid rate, it was a little bit like, okay, this is where you can kind of see the realism is slipping away a little bit. And then to the back end, I think it got a bit realer.
Yeah, I thought that as well. Which is kind of, on the top of a Pokemon, it's kind of like how they start really good, and then the middle stage is always maybe the weaker design anyway. And then when it's got the fully evolved form, then it's like, oh yeah, this is amazing. That's the best.
I think that is definitely a good analogy, because it is, like, to be fair, most middle forms I don't really remember, because you're going to start off with them being cute and you're building them up.
Yeah. You're
not really at the middle form for long until you evolve them again to the final stage.
Yeah. And I think the lighting in this actually kind of benefits the design a little bit, because there's a lot of like nighttime shots and it kind of like casts the creature in shadows. So that kind of masks some of the, I said, ropey CGI. It's not that ropey, but it's serviceable, I'd say. And
I think all monster movies nowadays do that to make like the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Also, it's covering up probably things to make it look better than it is, because they're hiding stuff, because the darker it is, the less likely you can see mistakes. And I think it makes him look more, you don't know which way he's going to turn. So like at the back end, it gets darker and darker. So throughout, normally you kind of seen him in the daytime.
Yeah.
Just like the first time you see it, when it kind of goes the opposite way, that it's nighttime, and he looks more like a monster than actually like a family pet.
Yeah, and he's got that sliminess to him, as opposed to like trying to get some textured effect, like scales or something on it, that may look him a bit ropey. So.
He looks like an eel to me, like, but with a body. If an eel's neck could stand like that high, then that's what I kind of think it looks like. And just still in my head, it's Lapras. That's like all I can see. It just doesn't have a shell.
Just missing that part of it. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
So I prefer, like Pokemon evolutions and everything like that, I always like the baby form. So I really enjoyed the first part of this, where it was like, it felt magical and kind of like they had the Scottish folky kind of, you said the word properly for it, music.
Oh, Celtic.
Celtic, there you go.
Yeah, the soundtrack through this is obviously kind of like quite appealing, because it's obviously of the location, it matches and everything.
It does feel really magical, and it kind of gives you that feel that you want to go to Scotland and roam around.
Yeah. I mean, in the first opening shots, you've got like the vistas of the Highlands and the mountains and everything. It's like, it looks amazing, which it is.
It's beautiful, and I think with everything that we've had a couple of years that we've been able to be kind of being a bit more cooped in, something like that just looks even more far majestic, that you just want to kind of run and explore it. And I think that's what Angus is like as a little boy. he's exploring, even though he's so scared of going in the water initially. I didn't know if that was going to pan out a little bit more. Because obviously when he gets the egg, he's like having a fear of drowning.
Yeah.
Which we don't really seem to escalate any further.
No, I don't. No, there wasn't really anything to suggest why he was afraid. He was just scared of water.
Which I don't blame him. It's scary. It is. I can't swim. I'm not even going to say I can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like water going above my shoulders, basically. Like,
no, I can swim, but even I'm not overly comfortable of like diving down into depths and like swimming with my eyes open and all that kind of stuff. I don't really like that feeling. I can swim and kind of try and keep me not like swallow any water, but I'm not a big fan of that.
No,
diving.
And I think what's strange how this pans out, I don't know if they're thinking, showing him being afraid at the beginning, and obviously then is it the water horse is kind of helping him because he gets on the back of of Crucial or whatever his name is.
It's called Nessie.
Nessie.
Just for simplicity. Yeah.
Thank you. Or
not Nessie, because the thing of this is like it's from an egg and there's only one in the entire world, and then one that dies. It's a bit like a phoenix, kind of just rises again type of thing.
Yeah. But not to the way that it's like you burn your ashes and then you come back out of your ashes. It's this other, they do lay an egg.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it's like me getting pregnant. I am a mum and a dad in myself.
Yeah, producing asexually,
Yeah, and then I produce an egg, and then I die before that egg hatches.
Yeah, circle of life.
So it's like an orphan before it even arrives.
Yeah.
Which just seems really sad and strange.
But we'll call it Nessie for the sake of simplicity in this.
Easy for you to edit.
Yeah.
So I quite enjoyed the first kind of half of the film a lot more. I think for me it's more whimsical. It just feels...
Yeah, I agree. That it's kind of like discovering this egg and it's like, this new thing, well, I've got to like hide it away and everything's sort of like small enough to... So people don't be like, take it away or, like, because they do these kind of kids films, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, it's like it's a secret type of thing, and you have to... You're kind of waiting out to see who's going to be brought in on the secret.
Mm-hmm.
And quite a few, obviously he's got a sister and you kind of like expect her to, but then this guy who's like the handyman who comes in to help around the stately home that they've got, what's he called, Lewis Mowbray, and he kind of like gets in on knowing about the situation as well quite swiftly as well. It's not like
I don't think they mean to though, do they? They get caught in kind of a situation where they need to tell somebody, but I think it makes sense for the storyline that he needs to know, because with him getting bigger, I don't know how they would have got him Nessie to the lock.
That's true, yeah.
So you needed an adult really that was involved in it. And obviously he knew about water horses anyways, did Lewis, so that helped.
I didn't know if it was going to be a kind of... Because obviously I just assumed that it was the little boy with the little Nessie. And then it would kind of be like a story of the boy growing up, along with Nessie, as opposed to this thing that's suddenly like, he's in water, now he's suddenly like 2 times big, like one of those sponges that you...
Yeah.
Dinosaur sponges or whatever, you soak up the water and makes them bigger type of thing very quickly in a short amount of time.
It does seem that way though, like every time he gets into water, he gets bigger and bigger. The more volume of water, the bigger he expands.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that working? Like, you're growing at the speed of knots.
Yeah, that's not explained, it's just...
Also, as well, to be fair, I know when you read it, it made him sound like Angus had forgot if this was an imaginary friend.
Yeah, we said that the way that the synopsis read as if, like, no one believes me type of thing, or
yeah.
But like nobody, like I said, the amount of people that were in the know about it and everything, it was just, obviously, his mum and the army who had set up base up in... This is set in World War II.
I kind of like that it is, but also I really don't know what the army added. I felt like there was loads of characters there that didn't need to be there. But I guess you needed a villain, didn't you?
Of sorts, yeah. Because I don't know if... I was thinking of a good portion of it. I'm thinking, is this really interesting for kids? Obviously, it's marketed as a children's film. So I'm thinking there's a good portion of this where in the middle or whatever, and it's kind of like I don't think the kids are really would be interested in all this kind of goings on.
Especially not with the cook and that other maid woman getting it on near enough in the kitchen. Like, that wasn't needed.
No, I guess it's something to keep the adults entertained.
I guess maybe it'll just go over the kids' heads. They just won't retain it, so it doesn't matter. But just a bit...
Yeah.
It felt a bit long-winded for me, even though Nessie grew up quite quickly. I feel like the rest of... There's some chunks in it where I'm like, I just didn't need that.
Like what, for example?
Well, that one. Even like when, bless him, Angus had to be with the captain and you could see him like putting in a tent and every 2 minutes and kind of then him running off and he needs discipline and all that. And it's like, I know you need a bit of a storyline, but...
Yeah, that didn't last long though, did it? It was like as if like, right, going to develop him and then... But it's kind of like 2 minutes later, it's like, right, I'm just going to abandon this, see you later.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't even do anything about it. So it's like, what was the point of that?
I think it's because his mum's trying to find a replacement father because obviously his dad's gone to war.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be returning, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these two kind of male leads that could fit that, like kind of, not like a mentor instead of like a dad.
Yeah. Stepdad.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think Lewis is definitely
more in favour, really.
Yeah.
Because there's kind of like awkward-ish moments, but they're kind of like there's something there implying that going on.
Definitely. I was waiting for like the happy little family at the end of it. The way it ends though is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit strange for me. I think I'd have preferred it where it would have been like they were a happy little family, but we had this bit where it opens up, doesn't it, at the beginning with this old man. Yes. And it ends with the old man as well.
Yeah, it's one of these like, oh, sit down and I'll tell you a story type of thing. And it's obviously, it's retelling the events in the story through this is obviously flashbacks for him, but we're seeing as a cinematic vision. But again, it's so painfully obvious that it was the boy all along. Like,
you've been daft to not know that.
But I don't know. Obviously, for kids, I don't know. That might be like, oh, I didn't see that. I suppose, but I'd give him a little bit of credit, perhaps. But
yeah, maybe not me when I was little. Probably not.
Like, oh, really? It was him.
But I don't really know what that added, really.
Other than the fact that when initially it's kind of like a more modern time, and these two American travellers are coming to this pub and seeing the Nessie photo, obviously, and it's like, oh, the old man's like, oh, that's not the real photo. Yeah. Something I kind of like, I was there and I know all about it, kind of thing. So that, I guess that was the reason behind it. So it's like, I don't know whether it's trying to still say that there is a Loch Ness monster, but just that photo isn't real.
Well, it wasn't, was it? It was so
or keeping it all ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah, we ambiguous. Saw how they were trying to fraud that picture, which loads of people will probably try to do to get a book. But I just feel like actually you could have just started it with this little boy in the water. For me, that you could have cut that bit out and you could have cut the ending, and just
these other bits where it kind of jumps back to that, and they're like, wow, like keep going on with the story.
I forget though that's how it started because I was really enjoying it, and then they appear and I'm like, it's all modern and it's like I'm not needing this. I don't mind it being like set in World War II all the way. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of, it doesn't really add much to in terms of these cutaways back to him telling the story, or like reaction shots of him telling the story, because it's not like I couldn't maybe understand if like more and more people were like coming in to listen to the story because it's so engaging. But
it's just the two couples.
And at one point it looked like the guy's like, oh, come on, we've got to crack on and got stuff to do. And
it felt like me and you, like when I was seeing them, like I would be the one that would be procrastinating or talking too much to somebody.
And like, I just want to get off now.
Yeah, can we leave? So if you don't know this person.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I'm too nice. I'm too nice for my own good.
They did a nod to Churchill. Oh yes, with the dog.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's the British Army who were kind of like setting up base camp in the Scottish islands here.
Yeah, I still don't
Almost like they were
understand
invading. Yeah.
what they were doing, like, there, because there was no war really going on, and it's like, what are you doing? Are you just practicing? You come into this manor, you're taking over. I didn't really get any of that. Like,
no, they were looking for German submarines or something, but I don't know why they'd be sneaking into Loch Ness to come and do it, and like unsuspecting. I don't know, because I kind of had to look up to see, like, I may have eaten my words about whether Loch Ness went into the sea or not, but I think it muddled on the right or wrong answer. But I think, from what I gather, it is actually true that there is a way for it to lead out into the ocean, but maybe like a ravine or whatever.
Or a canal or
but still,
something, yeah.
it does go to the ocean. But I just assumed it was just in, like a
Stagnant pond.
bowl of a big pond, a big lake, and that was that. But
yeah, no, I feel like all water will go to the sea, like, somehow.
Somehow, yeah.
It might not be like the Loch Ness goes straight away into the sea.
No,
but
no,
it
no,
will Miranda somehow
Yes.
to the sea, and I think that's it.
Mhm.
So Nessie could be out there.
People may be thinking, like, well, you can't find it because it's just going out of that, like an underwater cave or something that goes out to the sea or something like that. That's why we can't
Well, yeah.
do it. But
No, why would you want to stay in one place if you could go explore the whole entire sea? Nothing tying it physically down to that spot, is it? Just because it might have been born there.
Mhm.
I do think the relationship between Angus and the waterhorse, or Nessie, that kind of works quite well with the way that they capture that. It just kind of give me those moments of feelings of you don't want to leave an animal behind or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of, when he's putting it in the water and he's like, for the first time, and he doesn't want to leave it, it's like when you kind of take your dog to the kennels or something like that, or the vets, and it has to stay over.
Yeah.
And you don't really want it to be parted, but you've got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could kind of relate in that situation, even though I don't have a water horse. It was just that bond that you've got with an animal.
Yeah, the bond they've kind of got, like I said in the opening bit, just when we started this, is what I said before with the title, How to Train Your Loch Ness Monster, because there's moments where he's kind of like putting his hand out and stuff as if like to calm him down and all that kind of stuff, and then there's the bit when he's like fully grown and he's riding him through the loch and he's kind of like underwater moments stuff, and it's like like with Toothless flying on the back of him and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's that child whimsy that you have you expect from a children's film.
Yeah.
So,
do you think this film would be better if it was fully animated without humans in it?
I don't know if it would work the same way, to be honest, because especially with it being set in World War II around that time. I don't think there'd be no need to encapsulate that kind of stuff.
No,
I think it's so much easier for it to have been done the way it was.
I'm just thinking when you're saying How to Train Your Dragon, like, I personally definitely 100% prefer How to Train Your Dragon over this film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no-brainer.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, it still has similarities within it.
I'm just going to check something, actually, because I don't actually know when that came out. Was it the same time? How to Train Your Dragon came out 2010. This came out in 2007, I believe.
All right. So this was actually before How You Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. So who's copying who? But I don't think there's any.
No.
I mean, obviously, I think the How to Train Your Dragon is based off a book series, so.
But you still have that oldie kind of feel within How to Train Your Dragon, like at the Vikings or something.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Viking Village. Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think it's more light-hearted. It's got your connection with your human and your dragon or your creature. And it just works a lot better. I think because it's set in wartime on this one. If they could have set it any time, though. They didn't have to set it in World War II.
But I think it had to be set at that time to show the whole thing about the hoax of the Loch Ness photo. I think it had to be for the purpose of that. That's why it had to be then.
Right.
The writers had to base it around that time.
Because they wanted to include that in.
Yes. Otherwise, it could just be a silly, like, 2010s or whatever. Like at the back end of the film, when it's kind of like later on, they find it. This kid finds an egg on the beach, and then the cycle starts all over again. So but then it might be a bit too hip. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like jokes or quips and stuff, they might be trying to shoehorn in terms of for the down with the kids or anything. Whereas this is kind of a bit more. You can't really have that with the time period it was set at.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of works in its favour.
I think it does. It is a good movie to watch. I probably wouldn't be like, right, okay, this is like my favourite film. I've seen it and it's kind of there.
It's good. It's a lot better than I expected it to be honest, for a kids' film. I
don't really think it's a kids' film. When you're saying that, it just still doesn't register that.
Family film, then, should I say? Family film. That's what I mean by that.
The back end bit could be quite frightening for some children, especially me when I was little.
Yeah, we were like, don't hurt him or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, it's the whole thing that you've said before, like, in these monster films, you're always rooting for the monster and the people are the real monsters.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And it is a case of, I just said to Paul, he better not die. Like, I know...
I was half expecting it to be something like that, and that's why he said... I know that's not the real one because he died that day or something, or I don't know.
No, it's definitely because they were just trying to they were faking it, weren't they?
Yeah.
With the misshaped Loch Nessie in the sea.
Yeah.
But I was thinking when he was jumping over the water, so we get into the end scene where they're shooting off the cannons down the like Loch Ness, and then obviously it's aggravating the water horse. It's kind of startling him, really, basically. Yeah. And it's like when fireworks go off, it's just like kind of they go into like a fight mode to try and protect themselves. I think that's what was happening. But then they take up this bridge of net, to kind of. I'm thinking that must be where it kind of wherever you kind of can
get into the loch
or the sea. So it's like that way you can kind of go over and into the sea or whatever. So yeah. Whatever way that is, to kind of trap Nessie, and it's like, well, when she was gonna jump over it, or he or she, well, it's a bit of both, isn't it? Really, Nessie.
Yeah, I guess it's
it's either one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was gonna miss that jump, and then that would be like the how
wounded it. Yeah.
And it would die basically. But I guess it is a fact, like you keep saying. But there was a lot of dark things in this.
Yeah, it was, like I say, like you're going on a rampage type of thing and just roaring and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know if I would want to let my child see this. I think they'd have to be a bit older.
Yeah. Maybe a little, not like for a 5-year-old or something. No.
Definitely not. Like, maybe like 12?
Or
10 or 11?
10, I think. Yeah, you'd probably be alright with this, depends.
But
on your child,
a 12-year-old for me, because I was like, always 2 years behind.
Well, it's PG rated, so. Yeah.
Does this mean that the next one we can watch is How to Train Your Dragon, or is it because we've both seen it and we can't watch it?
No, sorry.
How many more have we got left? One more?
Just one more.
Woo!
Have you got anything else to add to this?
Just the only other part would be the mum in all of this.
Right, yeah.
Like, she's the type of mum that wants to do well, but she's making herself distance from her children. She's like trying to be a parent, but at the same time wants to be like your friend. But she punishes you too much, so you don't want to tell her anything. And every time you tell her something, she doesn't believe you, so you don't bother telling her.
Yeah, that old chestnut, yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like that bit where she's like, monsters are not real. And then obviously Nessie just comes up at the water and she's like, and the way that the acting on that bit was a little bit poor for me. I was like, really? Because obviously, clearly she couldn't see anything, could she really?
No, it was all special effects.
Yeah. So
you have to react to something, yeah.
It was pretty poor, that kind of acting skill. I don't know if you thought that, like...
At that point, it was kind of like, I knew it was kind of wrapping up, so I wasn't really dwelling on it too much. Because even the captain wasn't taken aback too much.
And sometimes Angus...
Well,
I did not understand what he was saying. I don't know if it's because he was Scottish. Like,
yeah.
I even said to you, what did you just say? There was so many times I said that to you.
Should have had subtitles.
I should have done. Because I was like, I don't know what you're saying, mate. Like, literally. It muttered, and it was Scottish, and it was quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I'll just assume he's going to go Nessie, get Nessie.
Yeah, his performance overall was okay. It's not the greatest, but
It's not-
serviceable
yeah,
for what
it's
it
not
was.
poor, is it?
It wasn't really, really bad. No.
And that guy that was... So you had the guy with the dog with the chef. He was
Yeah.
okay, I guess. But then you had this one, like, a bit like a Gaston or something, like, just wanted to hunt anything.
Yeah, I said to you, didn't it? It kind of seemed like, because he was like really silent and stuff, and Angus was like looking at him like Kevin does in to the old man in the Home Alone 1.
Yeah.
And I was expecting him to have like some turnaround or something, and like, oh, he's actually like a soft spoken guy or something, or really heart of gold. No, but no, he's like no, he was just wanting to go hunting.
He was just a bad man.
Yeah,
And that was it.
Okay, well, okay, fair enough.
He did die, didn't he? I feel like I think he did.
I think so. Yeah,
In the water.
I know the
scene.
dog got eaten.
I'm assuming it did. Yeah.
Because he was barking and then
Didn't see it, but
it wasn't like a. Well, there was a scene where the Nessie was like looked like he was ragging someone.
Wasn't that the cook?
That was the cook.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like he had like got his head or anything. It was kind of just chucking around somehow. Maybe just on holding onto his clothes or something, or maybe a leg. But it wasn't like he was like, "Oh, I've lost my leg," or I'm bleeding or anything.
It was more like an Audrey 2 kind of thing, where it bit something like his stomach.
Yeah.
So it was like, I was thinking, is he not going to fatal bite in the stomach and he's going to be dying?
Yeah. No.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell, unless you've got anything else.
No, I think I'll just go to the score now.
Okay.
As I say, it was more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. I didn't know if it was going to be too kiddified, too simplistic, but there was kind of like the whimsical charm with the monster, and I think the music the score helped along with that, really kind of give it that kind of nice vibe. Though, like I say, like there was the fact of it being kind of a bit too heavy on the army stuff and all that kind of stuff I think was a bit too boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially I was looking for like a child's eyes. I'd be like, oh, can we just see the monster, please? Kind of thing. Really.
Is that just not your normal eyes as well, Paul?
Maybe, but I understand there's budgets to keep. You can't have a lot of the monster, but I mean, it was for a fair amount of screen time with it, so I can't really complain too much on that. So I think I really just give it a solid 6 out of 10.
That seems reasonable. Yeah. I definitely kind of am agreeing with you, to be fair. I think mine would be the same score. I enjoy the whimsical about it. I enjoy that. I do think it's probably one of the better films we've watched for this Monster March.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's like a 6, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's something I'd really want to go back to.
No, I don't think I would either.
Sadly not. No. I've seen it and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
I preferred it at the beginning.
Yeah.
The ending was a little bit like, okay. And the way that then it had a second ending, I feel like it could have just ended with Nessie going into the sea kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that being it.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have cut there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain things with it that just made it really long-winded and dragged it out, which is a shame because some parts were really good and others were just like, okay, this doesn't feel like it flowed as well as it could have done. And Nessie's design is good. It's just she's cute when she's little.
Except for when it was kind of like coming out the egg, it looked like it had like skin-coloured things, so it was a bit weird. Like you just
more middle-ish. Like obviously once it had gone green.
Yeah.
Then it was adorable, and the relationship obviously between Angus and Nessie was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just mediocre. I can't really say anything's really special about it.
No, it's not like Harry Potter, is it? Like,
no.
Where that's a lot more... Well, obviously that's got a lot more going for it in terms of...
storyline.
It's got creatures and magic and all that kind of stuff.
So why aren't we watching a Harry Potter for Monster March? I mean, we could just watch all of them.
Do you really think we have the time?
Yeah.
For that?
Well, we had the time for this one.
Yeah, but you just said it wasn't that bad in comparison to others.
Yeah, true. So yeah, a solid 6, I'd say.
Okay.
Which I think is high for Monster March.
Did you give a higher score last time, though?
I did.
So make sure you go listen to that episode.
Yeah,
If you
definitely
haven't
do.
already.
That's like the highest Monster March film, I think, going.
Yeah, probably out of all of them.
Mhm.
Right. So, thank you very much for listening. And be sure to check out all our other episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, Good Pods, and wherever else you might get your podcasts from.
So you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter under the handle SP_filmviewers. Any likes, follows, comments, anything you know that you can do on there. Even a cute little GIF or GIF, whatever you want to call it.
GIF.
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 Not running this argument.
It's no argument to be had.
Then I love a good one anyways. I really do like a GIF.
There we go.
So if you want to leave anything like that and any comments or feedback on films that we can watch for April, any Easter films, that's coming up.
No, we did Hop.
I'm sure there's some more out there.
No.
There will be. So if you want to leave us a comment on that, that'd be much appreciated from me.
Yeah.
Since I've had to suffer a month of March.
Yeah, then this will be it now. And then we got one more, and then that'll be that.
Thank you.
So still got to decide on that one. It needs to be a good closer.
Do you think you might be leaving it to the public?
Maybe. I don't know yet.
They never kind of guide us wrong, so might be if you torn.
Yeah, perhaps.
Might be an option.
So, thank you very much for listening once again, and we will speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.